Hey, welcome everyone to our new series. So today's series is on prosperity. So what we are going to be doing is that we will basically talk a little bit about the relevant chakras. Not the chakra per se. We'll talk about the topic related to prosperity, and then what we'll do is during the mass healing, we will do healing on those particular chakras that are involved for that particular function. So the idea would be that we all gain some clarity on how to be prosperous and we find ways to enable ourselves to do that. Okay, so let's start with an invocation. Let's close our eyes, connect tongue to the palate, inhale and exhale slowly. Let us invoke to the Supreme God, Divine Father, Divine Mother. We thank you for your priceless blessings, for divine light, divine love, divine guidance, divine love, mercy, inner healing, physical healing. Thank you for the inner strength to practice regularly. Thank you for your divine help and protection, for illumination, abundance, and prosperity. Also, do the soul affirmation. I am that I am. I am not the body. I am not the emotions. I am not the thoughts. I am the soul. I am a spiritual being of divine intelligence, divine love, and divine power. I am one with my higher soul. I am one with the divine spark within me. I am a child of God. I am connected with God. I am one with God, and I am one with all. Let's be aware of what we are asking the Supreme God for. We are asking for prosperity, which is health, wealth, and relationships. And to start, let's do Super Brain Yoga. This is to help balance our upper chakras and our lower chakras. So Priya is going to help us demonstrate. Um, this exercise is done like this. You basically cross your arms in front of your chest. You connect the tongue to the palate. And as we inhale, we do a semi squat. And as we exhale, we come up. If you're in your menstrual cycle, please don't do this exercise 2 days before and after. So let's start. Priya, ready? So let's start. Inhale, go down. One. Inhale, go down. Two. Inhale, go down. Three. Inhale, go down. Four. Inhale, go down. Five. Inhale, go down. Six. And the last one. Okay, so today's topic is called Clear the Fog. So, clearing the fog is something about goal setting. So, I know sometimes we all set goals, but sometimes perhaps we don't think through them clearly. So, what happens is that, let's say, for example, if I make a goal of a certain amount of, let's say a salary or an income or whatever it is, or a relationship, and then I'm not clear on what is it that I really want, right? So, clear the fog is about clearing our thoughts. So I thought the way we would do this is we would do this in the context of two things. One is, of course, if you see our poster, it shows a bunch of people having a discussion, right? So the first thing, of course, is having a discussion. So discussing with family members what your plans are, what the aspirations are, and making them partners to our success is sort of important. So let's just think about this. So let's say, for example, if we want to start a new business or we want to apply for a job or I don't know, something we want to do, right? But we haven't really thought through the details. So let's say, for example, I want to apply for a job and I have a newborn baby. I need to think through a few things, right? I need to have clarity on my mind. Like even if I'm willing to leave my child with, my family, and I'm willing to go out for work, am I emotionally ready for it? So I need to clear my thoughts. We can't have both. We can't be a great full-time mommy and also be a great full-time employee at the same time. One of them has to adjust and balance, right? So that's what I mean by clear the fog. So what I'd like us to do is to kind of, I mean, that was just one example. It also applies for a male looking for a job. If you have a small baby and the job that you're taking up is the night shift, your wife may complain, right? So when I say clear the fog, what I'm trying to get at is we want something, but do we have clarity on it? So let's break it down into a few pieces. So we're going to borrow from the techniques that Master Choa has already shared with us for prosperity, which is that we save 20 to 30% and we tithe 10% and the remaining we can spend. Okay, so let's start with the tithing part. So 10% we're supposed to tithe. Now, for some people, they are willing to tithe, but then they get confused about where they're going to tithe. Okay, so it creates that level of confusion in them. So what's important for us is that when we talk about tithing, we should also have clarity on where is it that we are going to tithe. Okay, so what I'd like us to do is to make this an active exercise, which is why I think we had requested most of us to bring up a couple of pieces of paper. What I'd like you to do is, just write down your income target if you haven't already done so. And then let's calculate 10% of that and put it down. So, you'll write, my income target, clear the fog, my income target, and then you'll write down 10% of that amount. Now, I would like you to think about how you're going to spend this 10%, whether it's 100 rupees or 1,000 rupees or a lakh of rupees. That's not what's important. What's important is, do we have clarity on how we are going to spend it? Okay, so we're going to clear the fog. If you're not clear on it, that's fine. Just write down the topic and leave it. Okay, let's move on to the next one. The next one is saving and investment. Okay, so 20 to 30% of whatever we expect to earn, we're supposed to save and invest. Now, again, for a lot of people, saving creates another form of anxiety, which is that, okay, so I have this money now, how am I going to invest it? I'm not a good investor. I don't know about investing in stock markets. What if someone takes me for a ride? What are the stock market tanks? Oh, okay, you can invest in FDs, but FDs gives you a fixed return, and it doesn't give you a very high return, and people say it's not a great. So, we have all these, like, things going on in our mind. Okay, so again, I would like you to, in this particular context of saving and investment, I would like us to just write down for ourselves what is our ability to take risk. Okay, so if you're the kind of person who is high risk taking, which means if the stock market goes down and your share that was 100 rupees has gone down to, like, I don't know, 50 rupees, you're not going to panic. Then you have a very high risk capacity. And if you're the kind of person who, even if that's 100 rupees, you bought it at 100 and the share went down to, let's say, 99 rupees, you're going to start getting flutters in your heart. Then you are a low risk person. So what the reason I'm making us all, do this as an exercise is that once we have all this down, we can really clear the fog. Then we can have clarity as to what is it that we want to do. Okay, so shares is one option. Someone's mentioned gold, there's jewelry, there's so many investment options. There's property, there are all kinds of things. The thing I would like us to think about a little bit at this time is, what is our risk profile? Are we okay with the fluctuations in value? So suppose I buy gold today and the value goes down, am I going to panic? Or am I going to be like, okay, fine, it's gone down, it'll go up in a few years? Okay, so what's our risk profile? Again, the reason for this is to clear the fog. So 20 to 30% is investment. So when we invest and when we save that money, we should have a clarity on to what we're going to do with that money. We're not just going to just sit on it, right? We have to invest it, save and invest. Okay. Now, the last one that I want to talk about is spending. Okay, so again, with spending, I think we discussed this in the previous session, which was not related, but it's in the character building series, the episode on non-excessiveness, where again we talk about budgeting our spending. Okay, now we've already covered that, so if you need reference to that, please look at that episode. The other thing I want to go on with is, sometimes overall people are not comfortable dealing with a lot of money. You may think that's weird, but just think about it for a second. If you have a certain level of income, then you have to file a certain level of taxes. You have to manage your books. Now, let's say, for example, you have a lot of money coming in into your bank account and you have many bank accounts. Then you have to keep track of all that money, because if you have to tithe and you have to save, then you have to keep a lot of track of it, right? So accounts. Even if we are, just running the house, which is an important industry by itself, believe you me, you have to keep track of so many things. So we need to just think about this. Are we truly ready for the next level of income that we want? Okay. Let's say, for example, somebody goes from being a non-entity, from being a non-entity to being someone who is very rich. Okay, so let's say, for example, if this person, and I had a client like this, there was this person and they were afraid of the amount of socializing that they would have to do. So they were Arhatic yogis, and they were like, okay, so I'll have to spend a lot of time, like, doing socializing, because that's what the rich people do. So again, these are some misconceptions that we have. Okay, not all rich people are socializing all the time. Okay, not all rich people spend all their money on clothing and food. There are lots of rich people who are quiet, and they do other things with their money. So again, clear the fog. If we have an income target, are we also ready to deal with the inflow of money, the expenses that will come with that, in the sense that if you have employees, then you may have more employees to manage. If you have a salary, then if you have more projects, then do you have the desire to manage properties, or do you have the desire to manage more projects? Okay, so again, let's think about this for a few seconds. Just write it down. If you want, you can just write it down as, my fears related to having, these are not conscious fears, sometimes they're subconscious. So I would like us to really just take a minute and just think for yourself, because I'm just giving examples, but there are a lot of things that may be relevant to you and not relevant to anybody else. Okay, so just take a few seconds. We are still on the topic, clear the fog. We've talked about having a group discussion with the family, having clarity on the vision. 10% of income, of net income, of profit, of salary is tithing. Clarity on where we are going to tithe. The And remember, tithing is important because, when we create that clarity on where that charity money is going to go, then we need to be aware that, God in his supreme mercy would like that wealth or that help to go to certain people. So let's say if I've identified a particular charity for my tithing, then what happens is that if the great ones feel that, yes, this charity needs help, they will send you the associated income, because then they know that if you get an income of 100 rupees, you will tithe 10% of that to this particular charity. So the great ones, Supreme God, the gurus will all find a way to send us that money. So that's why I'm kind of focusing on tithing and saying, let's be clear, where are you going to tithe? Okay. 30% was the investment. So again, what is our investment profile? Are we comfortable with ups and downs in the market? Or are we more the kind of person who would just invest the money in the bank and just sit on it, which is also fine. Everything is fine. It's just a matter of our perspective. Okay. And of course, the spending, which is the budgeting part, and the handling. And the third topic, of course, is handling money. Are you comfortable? You'll have to count the money. You'll have to put away the money. Some people just get irritated handling money. You may not think about this consciously, but this has just come to me with a lot of healing that we do for people when they come to us for prosperity healing. Some people don't like to deal with taxes. Like, okay, so if we have that kind of feeling of like, oh, taxes, then we are subconsciously limiting our income to whatever is below the taxable limit, right? Because we don't want to deal with taxes. So if you really want triple the amount of money that is, so you know that the Income Tax Act, at least in India, has a minimum below which you don't need to file taxes, or you don't need to pay taxes rather. So if you have that kind of income level, then you're okay. You don't have to file taxes. But the minute it doubles, you will have to file taxes. Are you comfortable with that? So, that's what I mean again by, clear the fog, just clear out some of the details. And of course, if you have certain goals, you want to change your job, you want to start a business, have a group discussion with your family. Don't put in those blinders. We need that group discussion. We need to be clear. So there was this one client who said, I want to start a hotel business and I want to start it in, the sea beach, and which is great. But, the wife was not interested in living on a sea beach. So it's like, okay, is this going to work? So have clarity. If you have a goal, there's nothing wrong talking about it with your spouse or with your family members. But slowly, slowly, you need to build up the coherence in the family, in the whole group that you're working with. Okay, we can't walk alone. Human beings are not single people. Human beings are an entire family, an entire community. So try to involve whoever needs to be involved in this. Having a target is good. It doesn't mean that, okay, if today I've decided to move to the beach and, buy a hotel and run a hotel, I'm going to do it right now. No, it can be a dream that I'm going to work upon. Okay, so again, on your piece of paper, I'd like you to write down, if you have clarity on what your goals are. And what we will do today in the mass healing is that we will work further on the chakras that are involved in the function of planning, that are involved in the function of determining the clear point of view, the vision, the mission, and the reasons why we want to do something. Okay. And of course, time management. Okay. So these are the things that we'll work on the mass healing while you meditate. And again, those of us who are joining the session on YouTube, you'll need to join us for our mass healing sessions live at 4 p.m. India Standard Time by texting the number that is provided in the box below. Okay. So if there's any questions, you can put it in the chat box. What we'll do is after the meditation and the mass healing session, we'll try and address them. Okay. Okay. So I hope you have your goals down. I hope you have the topic down, which is clear the fog and keep the paper aside. Let's get ready to meditate and to receive healing. So be aware of the crown, be aware of the heart, be receptive and open. So while we're aware of our crown, our heart, and our hands, those of us who have written down our thoughts on a piece of paper, let's raise our hands in blessing position and let's bless the sheets of paper or the targets that are in their mind of all the people who are here with us. Let's bless everyone with clarity of mind on what is it that we wish to do. Let's have a group discussion with our family, all the relevant people who are involved in this decision or this choice or this goal. Let's also have clarity of why we are doing this. If we have a certain target, why do we have this target? Okay, so let's bless everyone with all that clarity, because when we have that clarity, the energy really begins to flow very fast. Okay, so once we blessed everyone with clarity of mind, let's bless the entire planet Earth, every person with the materialization of their financial targets, emotional targets, mental targets, and their spiritual targets. Just visualize our own goals, what they are, and let's take a few seconds and just feel whatever we would feel at that time. So let's say we have a financial target and that comes true. How are we going to feel? Happy, satisfied, peaceful, joyful? What are we going to feel? Just feel it. Just bring that feeling into our being. And then let's share it with the entire earth, that happiness, that peace, that love. Okay, let's take a few more seconds to bless our friends, our family, our school friends, our college friends, our family members, our home, our workplace, all people affected by the COVID-19 virus. We seem to be hearing that there's a second round, so let's bless everyone with strong immunity, with so much love in our heart that our immune system becomes very strong. Yeah, that's a secret. Okay, when we have a lot of love in our heart, the immune system becomes very strong. Okay, so let's bless everyone's immune system. Okay, so this was the first of several episodes which are about prosperity, and we will be covering different aspects about prosperity, helping us to think. So the objective is that, I'd like you to keep your piece of paper with you and keep making notes as you get clarity on your mind, keep clarifying things. So what will happen is at the end of the series, hopefully we will have a decent plan that at least we can take the first step towards whatever is our own personal goal. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. And so that's it, folks. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you had a good session. What we are trying to do is to bring the information that we gather from Master Choa Kok Sui's books and learnings and to make it more practical and bring it down to a really brass tacks, um, I would say to a very minute level. So I hope you find this exercise useful. And like I said, hopefully at the end of the series, we will have a workable plan that we will start to work on. Okay, so see you soon and that's it. Bye.